Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, let me know in the chat that you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Am I loud enough? Am I clear enough? If that's the case, please let me know. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, feel free to comment the country where you're following me from. Feel free to comment where you're following me from. So nice to be here. So nice to see you all. I'm so happy to be here. Right. So happy to be here. Right. Amazing previous sessions. And it's always a pleasure, to it's always a pleasure to be here and to share my experience with you. Right, so happy to be here, so happy to be here. Right, I can see people from Togo, I can see people from Nigeria, Liberia, Malawi, Zambia, Rosabelle from Cameroon. I can see people from quite a lot of countries: Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, yeah, Ethiopia, Uganda. I can see you all. Right, South Sudan. Wow, so nice to see you all here. Right, so nice to see you all. So happy to see you all. So happy. From Zambia, from Botswana. I mean, I can see people from everywhere. Right, everywhere. And I'm happy. I'm happy. Yeah, Mozambique. Oh, someone from Japan. Interesting. Gambia. Wow, cool. Cool. So nice to be here. So nice to be here. So my name is Simplicity Kadi. Yeah, I can see Sarah Loin represented. Yeah. So my name is Simplicity Kadi, and I'm joining you from Cameroon, right? Precisely Yaoundé. Yaoundé is the capital of Cameroon, and I'm joining you from Cameroon. So excited to be here. So excited to just come and share, to just come and share, come and learn, right? So happy to be here. Well, I've been into digital marketing for quite a long time, and it's always a pleasure to share, you know. Okay, my name is Simplicity Kadi. I think my name is on the screen, yeah? Now, we are looking at a very interesting topic today, right? A topic which I'm always very excited about, very, very excited about, and the topic is connecting with customers using Google Ads, right? A very, very interesting topic. How to connect with customers using Google Ads. Now, I think one of the things I've noticed, right, is that a lot of people are on social media, a lot of people are on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, then we have so many people running Google Ads. In fact, I've noticed that many people are running social media ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, but it looks like for some reason, especially in Africa, well, that's in Africa precisely, it looks like people are not so versed with Google Ads. And I don't know why, I don't know why, whereas over 86% of the whole world is on Google. Please, I wish to notify. Now, I didn't say this at the start because I felt like, you're already used to hearing this. If you have any questions, right, please drop them in the Q&A. I prefer when you drop questions in the Q&A because it's easier for me to answer them, right? So please, if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A and not in the chat. Sometimes a lot of things can be happening in the chat and I will not be able to see your question, right? So when you drop your questions in the Q&A, of course, expect responses from everybody, right? I'm here with, Okafor, Okorafo. I'm here with Stephanie. I'm here with Markit, Patrick. They are all here to help and assist in that direction, right? So I didn't give that detail because I felt like, oh, you've been hearing this over and over. Yeah. So I was talking about Google Ads. Okay, let's try something, right? Let's try something. Who here has ever run a Google ad before? If you're here, hello Aku, nice to see you. If you're here and you've run a Google ad before, put in the chat yes. If you've never run a Google ad before, put in the chat no. Let's do that quickly. You've run a Google ad before, put in the chat yes. You've not run a Google ad before, put in the chat no. Quickly. I'm not surprised to see many no's, right? In fact, some people may be hearing this for the first time. Please, if you're hearing Google Ads for the first time, put in the chat first time. If you're hearing Google Ads for the first time, put in the chat first time, right? I will not be surprised, right? I will really not be surprised. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and that's why you're here, right? That's why you're here. You see that so many people saying first time, meaning they didn't even know something like Google Ad existed. But I mean, that's why we are here. And trust me, I'm going to break it down and make it really simple for you, right? It's actually very, very simple, right? Very, very simple. Now, just for background context, right? Just for context, I'm sure that you had previous sessions, right? Probably with other trainers. And one of the things these trainers told you was the difference between SEO and SEM. Who remembers the difference between SEO and SEM? I'm sure you were taught that in the previous session. The difference between search engine optimization and search engine marketing. You were taught that, right? And one of the things the trainer probably told you is that search engine optimization is free while search engine marketing is paid. For those who have been paying attention to the previous classes, you will agree with me that one of the differences between SEO, search engine optimization, and search engine marketing is that search engine optimization is free and, of course, takes some time, while search engine marketing is paid and takes lesser time. Now, Google Ads is actually a type of search engine marketing. Remember, search engine marketing is paid. So Google Ads is actually a type or a way of doing search engine marketing because you pay so that you can have more results, or so that you can have faster results, or so that you can rank faster on the Google search engine results. You see that? That's why you do Google Ads. Now, I wanted to bring that context, right? Because I know somebody is going to be asking me, is it free to run Google Ads? I've answered your question. It's not free, right? Google Ads, you don't run Google Ads for free. You pay in something. Now, please, it doesn't mean you pay so much money. No, you can run a Google ad with $2, $5. In fact, anybody on this call can run a Google ad. Anybody. If you're on this call right now, if you paid for data, right, it means you can run a Google ad. You see that? Anybody. So it's not free, but it's not overly expensive. You see that? So that's Google Ads. Google Ads is very important. Over 86% of the whole world is using Google. Think about it. 86% of the whole world is using Google. So think about it, man. Just think about it. You see that? So if you run Google Ads, you're having the potential of reaching to more than 6 billion people. You see that? Okay, so that was me just giving you context, right? When it comes to Google Ads. Now, what are we going to look at today? What are we going to be seeing today? First, we're going to see introduction to online advertising, right? Just introduction to online advertising. Secondly, we're going to be seeing how to set up Google Ads. That's secondly, right? We're going to see how to set up Google Ads. And then lastly, we're going to see how to set up what we call a smart campaign. Now, don't worry, I'm going to explain what a smart campaign is for you, right? But these are the three things we're going to look at today. Introduction to online advertising, setting up a Google ad, and then setting up a campaign. So let's go quickly. Introduction to online advertising. Now, I already told you, it's not free. Disclaimer, I'm answering this question before you ask me because I know you will ask. So it's not free, but then it's not overly expensive. $2 can run a Google ad, $3, $5 can run a Google ad, right? So it's not free. Yeah. Now it's worth it, right? It's worth it because if you're doing SEO, sometimes when you're doing SEO, it can take you sometimes 4 months, 6 months before you start seeing results. But when you're doing SEM, you can start seeing results today, tomorrow. You see that? So it's advantageous to pay, right? Now, I want to show you some statistics. I want to show you a few statistics. Now, mind you, this is not a further mathematics class, right? Because I know some people here don't like mathematics. So once they see figures like 525 million, 74%, those of you who hated calculus and differentiation in school, once you see figures like this, you start having running stomach, right? It's not a further maths class. I just want to show you statistics, right? I just want to show you that there are real people online waiting for you, right? There is a real market for you online. So don't be scared of figures. So we have over 525 million internet users in Africa. Now, mind you, this was a census that was made quite a few years ago, right? So some of these numbers I'm giving you might have increased. Some might have doubled, looking at the growth of internet across Africa, right? So as of that time, as of the time this research was made, there were over 525 million internet users in Africa. There were over 74%, of web traffic in Africa is generated by smartphones, right? We have over 208 million shoppers in Africa. Now, this is interesting. This is to tell you that people don't just go online to send hello and hi messages anymore. They actually go online to shop, to pay for products, right? So if you're not taking advantage of online platforms, you're losing out on a lot of potential, a lot of it, right? So I just wanted to show you some numbers, right? Some statistics. Now, well, I know you've been asked this question so many times, so I won't bother asking you that question, right? I wanted to ask you how you usually connect with your customers, but I know you've responded to that question quite a number of times. Now, let's talk about the customer journey. You see, before I tell you how to run Google Ads, I have to tell you how Google works, right? You know, I cannot show you how to run Google Ads if I don't first of all explain to you how Google works. So the first thing I want to show you is how Google works, right? Like, how does Google work, right? How does Google really work? Now, let's say I'm going to take a simple scenario. Let's say maybe the screen of your laptop or of your phone got bad, right? Now, if you're like me, I don't know if many of you are like me. Whenever I have a question, a challenge, a quest, whatever, most times I'll go to Google and find questions, you know, and just ask from Google. So maybe I want to know something, I'll go to Google and ask. Now, I know that right now with the rise of AI, you know, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and many other platforms, people use them more. But the truth is that usually when we have questions, we go on Google and we ask them. So let's say the screen of my laptop got broken, for example. I go on Google and then I try to search, you know, I search for tutorials on how to fix my laptop screen. Then I start reading articles because I'm looking for solutions, right? The reason I'm looking for solution is because I don't want to pay somebody, right? At least not yet. I don't want to spend my money when there is free solution on Google, right? So I go to Google, I try to make research. How do I fix this? How do I fix that? Then if I can't find articles that will fix my problem, what do? I rush to YouTube. I try to watch videos. How do I do this? How do I do that? You know, I try to watch videos. And then if I still don't find a solution, after all my research, if I don't find a solution, what will I do? I'm going to get to probably a website, you know, where I can get someone, I can book an appointment with a local repairer to fix my machine. You see that? So that's how it usually works. It starts from you looking for something. Then you can't find it. Then you end up paying for it. You see that? That's how the Google platform works. Now, truth is that, now, what am I really trying to explain? What I'm trying to tell you is that what takes people to Google, and this is very, very important if you want to understand how to run Google Ads. This is very important. What takes people to Google are challenges, questions, problems. That's what takes people to Google. I've never seen somebody who sleeps at night and he's like, oh my God, I can't wait to just wake up in the morning and go to Google and just type on Google. I don't know. Have you ever seen someone like that? They're like, oh, I couldn't sleep all night. I was just thinking about Google, just dreaming of Google. I've ever since I came in contact with Google, I've never been able to sleep anymore. It has never, I don't know. It has never happened. You see, no way, of course, no way. There is no way. Why? Because nobody cares. We truly only care about Google when we have problems, when we have questions, right? So we are actually self-centered when it comes to Google. You see that? Exactly. So the lesson I'm trying to teach you or show you, what I'm trying to show you here is that what takes people to Google are challenges, issues, problems. And so you cannot sell on Google effectively if you don't know the challenges that people are facing in your sector of activity. I don't know if you get that. So you cannot say that you're going to sell on Google effectively if you don't understand, if you don't start by taking time to understand the challenges that people face in your sector of activity. So the first question will not be, how do I sell on Google? How do I run Google Ads? No, 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 no. You have to pause. The first question is, what are the challenges that people are facing in my sector of activity? When people go on Google, what do they look for in my sector of activity? What are the things that drive them? Once you are able to answer that question, you will be able to sell on Google with ease. You see that? Now, I know what's in your mind right now. You want to ask me, Sam, please, how do I know what people are looking for on Google? You know, somebody is probably saying, but I'm selling laptops or I'm selling shoes and clothes. So tell me, how do I start knowing what people are looking for? Now, don't worry, I'm going to show you, right? To know what people are looking for, you will have to do something, which I'll just mention now, and we will progress. When we get to that stage, I'll show you how to do it. It's called keyword research. So I'll just mention it, but as we progress, I'll show you how to do it. It's called keyword research. Keyword research is how you know what people are looking for. Now, there are tools that will allow you to make keyword research. For example, I'm going to mention a few tools. There are tools like the Google Keyword Planner. You know, the Google Keyword Planner is a tool. SEMrush is a tool. Ubersuggest is a tool. Answer the Public is a tool. Now, I'm sure that the moderators will probably drop the link to those tools in the chat, right? So we have tools like Answer the Public, right? We have tools like Google Keyword Planner, Ubersuggest. They're going to drop it in the chat. So how does it work? I'm going to explain it further, right? But this is how it works. You go on those platforms that I've mentioned, you put in your sector of activity. If you are into agriculture, you put agriculture. If you're into fashion and design, you put fashion and design. Then you go and select your country. You select the country where you want to make the research. It can be a country, it can be a city. You select the country, you select the language, whether it's French, English, whatever. You select the language. You can even select the platform. You know, the platform can be Google. You select the platform and then you click on search. And it's going to show you everything that people are looking for in your sector of activity. Not only will it show you, it will even show you the number of people looking for those things. You know, it's going to show you what we call the search volume. The search volume will show you the quantity of people looking for those different things in your sector of activity. Now, once you have that information, you will even be able to know where to focus on. Because if you notice, for example, that more people are looking for a specific thing, what do? You focus on that thing, right? You see that. So those are the platforms. Again, I just mentioned them, right? But as we go ahead, we're gonna discuss them. Okay, let me type it in the chat here. Let me just type it in the chat. We have answer the public. Answer the public. Answer the public is actually one word. We have answer the public. We have my God, the Google Keyword Planner. I'm typing it in the chat for you. The Google Keyword Planner for those who will need it. Then we have Uber. Now, truth is that there are so many of them. I won't tell you that I can give you all of them. There are so many, but I've typed 3 of them in the chat. Answer the public, the Google Keyword Planner, Uber Suggest, right? So you can just go and put them on Google and open the different websites. Okay, let's continue. Let's go. So that is clear, right? That is clear. What takes people to Google are questions, worries, queries, and I've shown you the different platforms that you can use to know what people are looking for in your sector of activity. Not just that, but to even know the quantity of people looking for them, right? Now, let's go. Why should you advertise on Google, right? I'm going to show you how to run Google Ads, but, you know, I'm giving you background and context so that when I show you that, it should be easy to understand. Now, why should you advertise on Google? You know, sometimes people ask me, people tell me stuff like, but Sam, please, I'm already on Facebook. I'm already on Instagram. I'm even already making money on LinkedIn. Why do you want me to be on Google? Why? So are you saying that, you know, I shouldn't be on LinkedIn? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just showing you the advantages of advertising on Google, right? Now, one thing you should know is that Google has 86% of the whole world is on Google. That in itself should be a motivating factor for you. Anyways, let's look at more detailed reasons why you should advertise on Google. The first reason is that Google allows you to track and measure the performance of your advert. You see, when you advertise on Google, you can tell whether your advert is achieving your objective or not. You can tell. Meaning that if I set up an ad this morning, by the evening, I'll be able to know how well my ad is doing by simply going to the statistics of the advert. Because the Google ad has a statistics segment that shows you how well your ad is doing. It shows you, for example, the number of people your ad has been able to reach. It shows you the number of people who have clicked on your advert. Usually what people do is that they compare the number of people the ad was able to reach with the number of people who have clicked on the advert. And then they will know whether the ad is doing well. You see that? So you can tell that for the last 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, I was able to touch 10,000 people. And out of these 10,000 people, 50 people were able to click on my advert. You can tell that as your ad progresses. You see that? And you also have control over how much you spend on your advert. You literally have control over how much you spend on your Google ad. You know, you can spend $1, $2, $5, $10. You have full control over how much you can spend, right? Another thing is that you can edit, pause, and cancel your ad at any time. Anytime. Meaning that if I set up an ad this morning and after 5 hours, I notice that that ad is not delivering what I want, I can cancel it. I can pause it. I can edit the ad. You see that? So these are the advantages. I can cancel, I can edit, I can pause the ad at any time at will. You see that? Also, and this is very, very important. Also, you can take advantage of the data found in your analytics to make better advertising decisions. Oh, this has helped me so much. This particular thing helps a lot. The fact that you can go into your database and then analyze data and make better decisions. For example, I'm going to take an example. Let's say you run an advert, maybe in two states. Now, I'm going to take Nigeria, for example, right? You run an advert in two states, maybe Abuja and which other state? Lagos or Akwa Ibom. Oh, is it Ikwa Ibom or Akwa Ibom? Sorry. Right? I'm struggling with the pronunciation. But let me take Abuja and Lagos since it's easier to pronounce for me. So let's say I run an advert in Abuja and in Lagos. Then when analyzing my advert, I noticed that, oh, many more people clicked my advert in Lagos. Guess what I will do? I'll focus all my budget on Lagos. Then I noticed, for example, that, oh, it looks like many people who clicked on my advert are between the age of 20 and 34. Guess what? When running my next advert, oh yeah, 20 and 34 only. You see that? So I can take advantage of the data found in my analytics
Oh, apologies for that, everyone. I think our trainer is having a little bit of a network issue, but do not worry, it will be joining back shortly. Thank you, guys.
Hi guys. It seems like our trainer's network issue has not been resolved. I'm just going to take over from where he stopped. So please, we're so sorry for the inconvenience. Just give me a moment. I'm so sorry. Please exercise patience.
Chiamaka, he said he's joining soon. Is I think his network had issues, and he said he's working on it, and he'll be back now.
Okay. Then I'm going to hold on for him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Hello everybody. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry. I'm very sorry. You know, a lot of things I can't control. One of them is network. So I had to move to another distributor, and I'm hoping that we can progress without any issues, right? Thank you. Let's go. Awesome. Let's go. Yeah, what was I talking about? Now I'm trying to find myself. I found network, but I haven't found myself yet. Okay, yeah, so I was just telling you people to run adverts, right? I was just telling you to run adverts, and I was letting you know that running adverts is very, very important. Yeah, so I was just trying to let you know that running adverts is very, very important. You know, be it on social media, be it on Google, right? You know, sometimes I tell people, right, that a lot of people, and this is from experience, a lot of people are really just one advert from their first million. Now, I'm talking about those who don't run adverts, right? So many people are really just one advert away from their first million. You're going to be surprised what a simple advert will do for you. Now, I'm telling you this, I've been running adverts for over 6 years now, right? 6 to 7 years. I assure you that adverts are game changers. Now, I'm not trying to tell you that, you know, it's a get rich quick scheme. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to tell you that sometimes you will be surprised. You know, this is just to share. Just very recently, I was running an advert for a lady in what's that place? Is it called Port Harcourt or so? Port Harcourt. Yes, Port Harcourt or so. So I was running an advert for her, and we spent less than 10,000 naira, on that advert. Literally less than 10,000. She had a lot of money in return. A lot, as in a lot. Sometimes you will be thinking that your first million is very far away from you, right? Until you run an advert and you realize that it wasn't so far. Have the habit of running adverts if you haven't started running them yet, right? It's very, very important. It goes a long way. I could share a lot about that, but then this is not the time for that, right? Okay, so how does Google Ads work? So I've showed you how Google works. Now let me show you how Google Ads work. Now this is how Google Ads work. Pretty same thing, right? Go on Google, type out something, make a research. Let's say you want to sell maybe laptops, or you want to buy a laptop. You go on Google and you type laptops for sale, right? Then when you type laptops for sale, you're going to notice that websites will appear, just like you can see on your screen here, right? Websites will appear. Now, usually you're going to notice these ones that appear here with pictures, right? I don't know if you're seeing that. If you look at your screen, you're going to see websites that appear here with script or with pictures and brief descriptions, right? These adverts here are called shopping adverts. Shopping adverts are the ones that you usually see with pictures, brief description, and prices. They are called shopping adverts. Now, shopping adverts are the most expensive form of Google adverts because there are different forms of Google adverts. We have shopping adverts, which you can see. We have text adverts. Text adverts are the ones that are at the bottom. If you see, check your screen, you're going to see this advert at the bottom here with a title in blue and then a description in black also, right? So these ones that appear here are called shopping adverts. They are the most expensive because they are prioritized by Google, right? Then the ones that appear down here are called text adverts, right? Text adverts, they usually come with a title and a brief description. Now, how do you know they are adverts? You know they are adverts because usually at the top left, you're going to see sponsored or ad. Whenever you see a website appear with that ad at the top left, it means that that website is paying to rank. You see that? So usually you're going to see text adverts or shopping adverts, then you see text adverts. Then when you click on those adverts, it takes you to the website where you can make your sales. So that's how Google Ads work. Search for something, the ads will appear. You click on the ad, takes you to the website where you make your actual payment, right? So like I told you, we have shopping ads that appear in the first position, right? Shopping ads that appear in the first position. Then we have text ads that appear in the second position. Then we also have another kind of Google ad, right? Another kind of Google ad that we have is called display adverts, right? So we have shopping ads, we have text ads, and then we have display adverts. Now, how do display adverts work? I'm sure that you were told this in the previous session, right? So I'm not sure if I want to go back into that. But then just for context, right? I don't know, it probably has happened to some of you, right? That maybe you were watching a video on YouTube and another video will suddenly come and interrupt the video that you were watching. And it will show itself for about 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 12 seconds. It has happened to many of you. Sometimes it happens on Facebook, on YouTube. Now, some people find it very annoying, right? Very, very annoying. I know that. You don't have to tell me. I know you find it annoying, right? Now, those are what we call display adverts. You see, display adverts is when Google is taking advantage of third-party websites to promote your products or your service. That's what display advert is. Now, this is just for context. Google has a network of websites, right? Google has a network of websites. It's called the Google Display Network. Now, that Google Display Network has over 2 million websites. Those are websites that have a lot of traffic. I'm talking about millions upon millions of visitors per day. Millions upon millions of visitors. So what happens is that when you run an advert, Google is going to take your advert and will send to these different websites, hoping that as people visit those websites, they will click on your ad and make the payment. That's what we call display ad. So you can run a shopping ad, you can run a text ad, you can also run a display ad. Now that display ad can be an image, it can be a video, it can be a text, whatever it is, it can really be anything, right? So those are display adverts, or those are the different types of Google adverts. Now, what are some key things to note when it comes to Google adverts? One, you pay only for results. Very important to note that you pay only for result. Now, paying for result doesn't mean you pay when you make money. No. Paying for result means that you pay when a specific action is taken on your ad. For example, a click. That's why you're going to hear PPC, paid per click. Paid per click means that you pay when someone clicks on your advert, right? So you pay only for result, right? You pay only for result, or when an action is taken on your advert. Now, that also means technically that it's possible to set up a Google ad, run it without paying, technically, provided nobody takes a specific action on your advert. Very important to note that. Also, there is no startup fee to run a Google ad. Totally no startup fee, especially that you can run a Google ad and then pay at the end. There are different modes of payment. You can pay while the advert is running. You can choose to pay at the end of the ad. So you insert your bank details and then you pay at the end of the ad. So you don't need a startup fee. You also don't need a cancellation fee. If you want to cancel the ad, you can cancel it at any time. You also don't have any contract, right, that binds you to Google. So these are key important things to note when it comes to Google adverts. Okay, are we here? Are we present? Are we following? Are we present? I'm going to take a few questions before I show you practical steps on how to run Google ads. I hope it's easy, right? I hope it's very easy. I hope it's not complex. If you have questions, please drop in the chat, right? If you have questions, please drop in the chat and I'm going to answer them. Or drop in the Q&A, right? Please, how do I run video ad via Google Ads? I'm going to show you. It's very easy. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, very, very easy. Cool. Now, how do you run Google Ads? How do you run Google Ads? Usually, before you run a Google Ads, there are a few things that you have to prepare, right? Or bring together before you run a Google Ads. There are a few things that you have to prepare. The first, of course, is to define your goals, right? Before you run a Google ad, you want to make sure you define your goals. And if you've been attending this training, you know how to define a goal. A goal has to be SMART, right? Every goal has to be SMART. SMART means that it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, right? So you have to define your goal. Very important. I'm going to get there. So usually when you go on the platform, on the Google ad platform, this is usually what you see on the Google ad platform, right? This is usually what you see. You're going to see the different goals that are already on the platform for you. You don't need to create them. They are already there. You just select them. So when you go on the Google ad platform, you're going to see exactly what you're seeing on the screen right now. So they're going to ask you, what is the objective of your campaign? You can see that there are several objectives there. There is sales, you know, as an objective. If you want to make more sales, you click there. If you want to have more leads, you click there. If you want to have more website traffic, you click there. If you want to have more product and brand consideration, the option is there. If you want to reach out to more people, the option is there. If you have an app, you're developing an app and you want people to download that app, the option is there. If you have a physical store, maybe a physical location, and you want people to come to your physical location, the option is equally there, right? In fact, there is even an option for those who don't have any goal. Look at the sixth option, just right there. You're going to notice that it's for if you don't have any goal and you want Google to be your goal, right? You select it. So there are options there. All you need to do is to select the one that best suits you, right? To select the one that best suits you. Now, if you also want to run a video ad, the option is also there, right? You can run a video ad. If you want to run a display ad, the option is there. You run a display ad. You know, if you want to run a search ad, meaning that whenever somebody makes a research related to your product or your service, your advert will appear. You select. So there are options, you know, and then there is the smart campaign. I'm going to explain the smart campaign, don't worry. But then the goals are there. You just select the goal that works best for you. Please, it's important that you make your goals smart, right? I don't want to go to that because you saw that already. A good goal has to be smart. Please don't tell me your goal is to make more money. That's not a goal. Don't tell me your goal is to, I don't know, is to reach to more people. That's not a goal. Don't tell me your goal is to, I don't know, make more money, get more customers. That's not a goal, right? Any goal that doesn't have a well-defined plan is a wish, right? Very important to note that. It's not a goal, it's a wish. You can call it a wish, you can call it a dream, you can call it, I don't know, something. But for you to call it a goal, it needs to be specific, easy to explain, measurable. You need to be able to attach numerical figures to them. Achievable. You need to be able to set a goal that you have the money, the resources, the skill, the competence, the relationships to achieve them, right? It has to be realistic, something that is relatable, right, to your business. It has to be time bound. So set goals like, I want to make 10 million in the next 2 weeks. You see that? So give it a specific amount, give it a specific time frame, right? That is very important. And you want to make sure that it's something you can achieve. You know, somebody asked me a question, I think it was a few days ago. The person was asking me, Sam, please, is it possible to have 100,000 followers in one day? I told the person, yes, it's very possible to have 100,000 followers in one day. You know, it's even possible to have it in 3 hours. One day is too long. To have it in 3 hours is very simple. You know, have an appointment have an interview, book for an interview with Barack Obama, have another interview with Donald Trump, have another interview with, I don't know, Davido. Look for 5 important personalities in the world. Have online interviews with them. Then you're going to hit more than 100,000 followers in 3 hours. You see that? So the challenge is not whether it is possible. Possibility is not the problem. The challenge is whether you have the money, you have the resources to achieve it. So when you're setting your goals, you want to make sure that, you know, you have the resources. If not, you really can have 100,000 followers in 1 hour. It doesn't take so long. It doesn't take so long. Less than 1 hour, you hit 200,000 followers. You see that? So make sure that your goals are achievable. Okay, so let me talk about the smart campaign. Let me talk about the smart campaign, right? Remember, I told you I was going to explain what smart campaigns are. You see, running Google Ads used to be very difficult. That's the truth. Well, maybe very difficult is not the word, but I would say that you needed a lot of training to be able to run Google Ads at first. You needed a lot. For you to run Google Ads at first, you needed to go through some serious intensive training. And so it was quite complex for the lay individual. So Google decided to create this concept called smart campaign. Smart Campaign is Google's attempt to simplify the complexity of Google Adverts. That's Smart Campaign. And it's a quite recent campaign, quite recent initiative, right? So when you log into the Google Ad account, it usually comes in as Smart Campaign mode. There are actually two modes. There is what we call the Smart Campaign mode, and there is what we call the Expert mode. The Smart Campaign mode are for those who have never done adverts. For example, those of you on this call who have never run Google Ads, Smart Campaign mode is for you. You can switch from Smart Campaign mode to Expert mode, right? Once you have some more experience. So Smart Campaign is Google's attempt to simplify Google Adverts. Now, how do you run these smart campaigns? I'm going to show you a few steps that you can use to run smart campaigns, right? Before that, you will need the link. Let me share with you the link to the Google Ad account, right? And then I will show you in a few steps how you can run smart campaigns, right? I'll show you in a few steps how you can run smart campaign. Yeah, we have the link, ads.google.com. So that's where you run Google Ads. Let me drop the link in the chat for you, right? Let me drop the link in the chat for you. To run Google Ads, let me drop the link for you. Yeah, I've dropped the link in the chat. So if you want to run Google Ads, you can use that link. I'm fighting with the keyboard. Yeah, so to drop the link in the Google chat, in the Google, to run Google Ads, right? I've dropped the link in the chat for you. Now, when you click on that link, right? When you click on that link, they're going to ask you a few questions. They're going to ask you a few questions as step one. Please note that you cannot run a Google ad if you don't have at least one, a website, or two, a Google My Business profile, or three, a landing page on an e-commerce platform. You need to have at least one of these three things if you want to run a Google ad. Now, we had a whole session on the Google My Business profile, right? So I won't go back to that. You know what it is, and you know that it's free, right? So for you to run a Google ad, either you must have a website, and today you can have websites for free. Links have been sent to you. Or you can create a Google My Business profile, which is also free. And we had a class where we taught you how to do it. Or you can have a landing page on an e-commerce platform, maybe Amazon, Shopify, you know, you can leverage on that. If you don't have any of these three, you will not be able to run Google Ads, right? You will not be able to run Google Ads. Okay, somebody is asking that the links should be sent to the WhatsApp group. Okay, they'll be sent. Don't worry. They'll be sent. I'll probably send them immediately after the class, right? I'll drop the links in the group, in the WhatsApp group for you. Okay. Where was that? Okay, so they're going to ask you, where do you want to run your Google ad? Do you want to run it on your Google My Business profile? You select the option. Do you want to run it on another platform? You select the option. So there are two options there. If you plan to use the Google My Business profile, you select it. If you want to use another platform, you select it also, right? So once you select that, we move to the next step. The next step is where they will ask you for your business name. What's your business name? You put in your business name. Now, sometimes people will ask me, should I put my business name even if my business is not recognized by the state? Yes, you can put your business name even if it's not recognized by the state, right? So put the business name there. That's step two. Then we go to step three. Step three is where you put in the link to your website. Now, this is for those who selected website as an option, or for those who selected option B on the first page. Remember that the first step, you select between the Google My Business profile or another landing page, right? So if you select the Google My Business profile, they will not ask you for a website. But if you select option B, they will ask you for a website, right? So you put in the link to the website, right? That's step 3. Now, something you have to note here is that the link that you put here is not necessarily the link to your landing page. Because remember that a website can have several pages, right? One website can have a home page, it can have a contact us page, it can have an about us page, it can have a gallery page, a product and service page. So the link that you are putting here is the link to that page of your website where you want people to arrive when they click on your advert. So you're putting the link to the page and not necessarily the link to the home page of your website. So if you want people to arrive at your products and service page, you put the link to that page here. And once you put the link to that page, Google will show you that page, both on mobile phone and on desktop. It will show you a mobile phone view and a desktop view. It will be an opportunity for you to confirm that indeed, this is where I want people to land after they click on my advert, right? So that's step 4. You confirm that on step 4, right? Once you confirm that, we go to step 5. Step 5 is where you choose what your business goal is. Now you're going to notice that the options, all the options are there. Again, what I'm showing you here is exactly what you will see on the platform, right? Nothing more, nothing less. You will see exactly this thing I'm showing you. So step 4, they're going to ask you for your business or your advertising goal. What's your advertising goal? Do you want to have more calls? You select. Do you want to get more website visits? You select. Do you want to get more visits to your physical location if you have a physical store? Do you want to get more views and engagement, maybe on YouTube? You select. So the options are there. Select the ones that works best for you, right? That's step 4 or step 5. Then we go to step 6. Step 6 is where you decide how you want your customers to get in contact with you. How do you want your customers to get in contact with you? Or what do you want your campaign to deliver? So you may want that your customers should sign up for a product or a service. The option is there. You might want your customers to schedule an appointment with you. The option is there. You might want your customers to fill a form and then you contact them later. The option is there. You might want your customers to request a quote. Option is there. You might want your customers to request your contact. The option is there. All the options are there. All you want to do is select the one that works best for you, right? That's step 6. Then we move to step 7. Now, step 7 is usually a very important step.
Apologies, everyone. I believe our trainer is experiencing another connection issues. However, he's working on it and he'll be with us shortly. Thank you.
Hello everybody. I'm sorry for my network. My network is not good. I'm trying to share my slides, but then my network is not good, right? So I'll probably not put on my video. Hopefully that helps. Also, I'm struggling with putting on my slides. So well, we're actually at the end of the session, so I'm just going to round up and then take any questions, right, if you have them. Unfortunately, I'm trying quite a lot of things, but not finding any solution. Okay, so I'm just going to round up, right? Maybe in a minute. I'm just going to round up with, we're looking at the step where you had to put the title, right? The title and the description of your slides, right? The title and the description of your ad. We were in that segment, and I was explaining that you can, that was a very important segment of the advert, right? And I was explaining that for you to do that effectively, you need to do your keyword research, right? You need to do your keyword research. Let me see if I could open it here. Looks like anything I'm opening on Google is not showing up. Not so sure why. Let me try this again. Yeah. So my network is not allowing me to even open my screen. Okay. Yeah, so I was explaining that for you to put that title, you would need to do your keyword research. Remember, I explained keyword research at the beginning of the class, right? Where I told you that you will need to visit some of those platforms that I mentioned. Platforms like Uber Suggest, platforms like Answer the Public, where you will have to insert your sector of activity, your name, the name of your sector of activity, your country, your language, and then you make your research, right? So once you make that research, you will be able to know what title to put there, because the title that you're putting there should be what people are looking for. It's very important to note that. It's very important to note that whatever you're putting as headline there, it should be something that people are looking for, right? So once you put that, you're really good to go with your advert, because the next thing to put would be to put in your payment details, and then your advert starts running. That's basically how it works, right? That's basically how it works. So we're actually at the end of the session, and I'm going to kindly please share with us the presentation. Yeah, I cannot share my slides here because of network. That's why you're not able to see my screen, right? That's why you're not able to see my screen. I'm sorry about that. So what I'm going to share is a link, right? We usually share that, a link where you can just learn more about Google Ads and everything else that was taught in this training, right? I'm just going to share that link with you quickly. It's a link that can help you just learn more, about what we saw today. Because we usually don't share slides, right? We usually don't share slides. So I'm dropping a link for you. So I've dropped the link. And I'll also drop it in the WhatsApp group so that you can take a look. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you so much. We have come to the end of our training session for today. Thank you very much. Sorry that network didn't allow us to get the best of our session, but then I think you learned something, right? I think you learned something that you can put out there, that you can learn, that you can practice. And I'm wishing you all the best, right? I'm wishing you all the best in your initiative, in digital marketing, in your business. Wishing you all the best. And thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to send the link in WhatsApp, right? In the WhatsApp group. No. There's no attendance form. Attendance is recorded on Zoom. Yeah, attendance is recorded on Zoom. Thank you. This was Simply Sikadi from Cameroon, right? Bye-bye. Have an amazing day. Thank you.